gentlemen, thank you for opportunity given to me to join in this honorable forum. The first, let me introduce again myself. I am Niko Amrullah, Vice General Secretary on the Traditional Fisherfolk Union of Indonesia, a mass organization composed of 100,000 traditional fishers which spread across 22 provinces in Indonesia. Greetings from them for ladies and gentlemen. Secondly, we would like to express solidarity to Mr. Sombath. His fight should always preach in Indonesia. And for that, Traditional Fisherfolk Union of Indonesia was established. It became coordinating institution for Indonesian fisherfolk to struggle for gain their prosperity. Because behind the lack of potential of marine and fisheries in Indonesia, fisherfolk is still part of poverty problem. The first page. Before. The first. Go back to the first. Yeah. Yes. Okay. The next, I would like to explain of strategic position of traditional fisherfolk in Indonesia. But before it, this picture describe the paradox. The left side, the potential of marine and fisheries in Indonesia. The side one is the reality of the fishers in the Jakarta, and in the other, the fishers is a poverty problem. Next. Okay, sorry. Why fisherfolk? I would like to explain of strategic position of traditional fisherfolk in Indonesia. The first, the number of traditional fisherfolk dominates up to 88% of the total fishers in Indonesia. Of the 643,100 booths, as many as 88% units are traditional fisherfolk. Secondly, they have supported of fish production for consumption domestic up to 75%. The third, the traditional knowledge of fisherfolk is a model of local governance of marine and fisheries resources that fair and sustainable. These practices have been going on a long time before the state of Indonesia was stood. Next, ironically, although have the large potential of marine and fisheries, actually the Indonesian government have been increased importation of fisheries product and salt without prioritizing the production of local fishers and salt farmers. This liberalization practices has weakened traditional fisherfolk, start from market discrimination until difficulty to get access to the bank. On the other hand, next, fisheries management models in the world showed exploitative trend. It's influenced by global food security issues. FAO report on 2008 showed that total world fishery production increased rapidly from 100 billion tons at the end of the decade of the 80s, rising to 140 million tons by the end of 2008. Like this with Indonesia, from 4.8 million tons in 2008 up to 5.8 million tons in 2014, with a very rise of 3.75% per year. It's in line with the level of fish consumption of Indonesian society has increased from to 20 29.08 kilogram per capita per year to 37.89 kilogram per capita per year in 2014. Therefore, traditional knowledge of fisherfolk is an instrument for controlling marine and fisheries utilization from overexploitation and non-responsible practices. The next. Indonesia is a country with an area of island water reach about 78% and the land area is about 23%. A stretch of coastline of 99,093 kilometers, which is the second longest coastline in the world after Canada. It has 70,504 islands which spread in 33 provinces. So Indonesia has various cultures, including local knowledge of traditional fisherfolk. From Aceh, we can see Hukum Adat Laut, Manee in North Sulawesi, Lamafa in East Nusa Tenggara, Sasi in Maluku, Labuhan Kraton in Yogyakarta, Petik Laut in Banten, Erau in East Kalimantan, and much more in each region. All of them have the same goal, that is to manage and take advantage of the ocean in a sustainable and fair. Before Panglima Laut, go back. This picture, Panglima Laut, he is Mr. Baharudin. He one of Panglima Laut in Aceh, and this picture, rule of the Hukum Laut. Yes, Panglima Laut is an institution which managing authority of Hukum Adat Laut in Aceh. Hukum Adat Laut become customary rules, are preserved and maintained by the fishing communities to manage in fishing and fishing community life at the coastal. Interestingly, there are area coastal forest, which is an area of forest canopy trees growing on the beach. They protected it from violators. This region as a protective green belt area waterfront from abrasion. But human activity have damaged mangrove areas in Aceh. Depletion of mangrove area in Aceh was unable to stem the tsunami a few years ago. It provides a lesson that traditional knowledge of fisherfolk is a noble heritage that should be preserved and strengthened. In addition, about 62 days in a year, fishers in Aceh not doing activity in the sea. Imagine how many fish and the other marine resources can make restocking. It became part of the rules in the Hukum Laut. In the graphic, tsunami in 2005 caused decreased fish capture production, and after this, start from 2006 until 2014, fish capture production was increased. The next slide. Manee in North Sulawesi, different province. Manee, this culture become marine tourism attraction which interesting for foreign tourists. Manee is uniquely fishing tradition which is carried out by indigenous elderly people on the beach to catch the fish with spells, palm leaf and rootwood. This ritual to invite thousands of fish. Then they must catch only with bare hand. Before it held 6 months previously, the local community and from the outside were forbidden to catch the fish or other marine resource in the Manee area. The next, Sasi in Maluku. Sasi in Maluku province is a traditional institution which has agreements and sanctions for violators. The agreements consist of prohibition of using toxic or explosive to catch shrimp and fish, prohibition of cutting mangrove, prohibition of take live coral in the sea, prohibition of fishing with a mesh that is too small, and prohibition of capture of fish from boat when fish are entering the lagoon area. The other conservation model from local community are in Lamalera is Nusa Tenggara. Their model for protection of whales by restricting the type and size of whale, a traditional fishing gear, the number of catcher boats, the time of arrest, and fishing area. Community of Lamalera only capture type Loden whales and do not capture the blue whale. They implemented size restriction such as prohibition of catch small whales, mature male, and whale females which are pregnant. Boats to catch a whale made special with traditional knowledge and communally owned. Time of fishing is began in May until October or July until October with the fishing ground of less than 3 nautical miles. Finally, the management of fisheries, especially in Indonesia, should be through an adaptive process, participatory, and based on social capital of each stakeholder. Therefore, the strengthening of local institutions not only for the benefit of fisheries resources and society, but also a mandate of Act number 31 years 2040 about fisheries. Maybe that's enough from me. I hope my information will be useful. I'm really sorry for any mistake. Thank you for your attention.